Just two girls yapping away. That is the next hour. It's going to be amazing. This beautiful young lady joining us today is the expert, the one, the only Laura Tomlinson. She is a podcast professional, supporter, management. She does all of the things. So I'm going to have her roast me on the show. And she's going to roast me like a beautiful, like I was like doing the motion of like a pig.
Roll the camera.
Roast me like a pig. But there's so many reasons why I love you, Laura, and I'm so excited to have you on the show for so many reasons. And welcome back to all of you. It's Amanda Sweet, the Creative Fairy Godmother, and we are on the Let's Glow show. Laura, tell us all of the things that you do because you wear many a headphones.
Oh my God, you are so sweet. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm so honored to be here. You're the best. We've been in the same ecosystem for maybe like a couple years now, I want to say. We see you at various networking and hanging out with other women in the world and entrepreneurs and all the cool things that we get to do. So thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you.
Yeah. Where is your mic, sister? We need a mic for you, my love bug.
So this is exactly what I...
Oh my God. What is happening right now, my little sweetie?
So here's the thing. I had a mic and then another person roasted me.
Oh.
Okay, Angela Bucciolato, you remember?
Oh yeah.
Love her to
That's
death.
my girl. Yeah. Yeah.
Is my girl. Re-recorded her episode with my microphone with all of the stuff. And for some reason, our podcast, like the audio was just off. We sent it to John Gay, who John, love him.
Love John. Love John.
Tried to doctor it back together and just was like, you're using the worst microphone on planet Earth. I would rather you use your laptop. I like anything else. And I was like, okay, great. We recorded the episode again. It was great. And I have been operating on like this much energy. So I've just been doing it like this. So tell me, what kind of microphone should I have? Because your girl is scared of everything. I'm like, I'm scared I'm going to like waste another episode.
I know.
You know?
Let me tell you, this mic here, this beautiful little Rode mic is, it's a pod mic. It's a Rode pod mic. And literally it's $99. Okay. You can get it at Guitar Center. You can get it on Amazon, whatever. The key about the equipment when it comes to a YouTube show, like your fabulous show, or even a podcast or whatever, the key here is we want to make sure that it is a dynamic microphone. Okay. Versus a condenser. So the condenser is for like a really high-end professional studio. And us girlies, we don't need fancy studios. We can do whatever we need to do. You're in your cute office there. I'm in my cute office here. And we still have quality sounding professional shows, right? Through this microphone. So the key with the dynamic is you want to talk into it and you can't hear a lot of background noises. So that is my number one recommendation. A dynamic microphone, my friends. Do not get the condenser because we're not that fancy around here. And it's $100. And then you can get the stand. I think you can buy like a stand to go with it or like a little boom mic thing like this. I first started with a stand. I've seen people put their mics in a toilet paper roll, right? Or literally. As long as you can't see it, right? If you are on camera kind of thing. So, I mean, people get creative of where they put their mics. The other brand that I really like is Shure, SHURE. Those are very nice, very fancy, a little bit higher end type of vibe, but those work great as well. Just to kind of give you a little tidbit of where you could start if you're going to start your own YouTube show or podcast or whatever it is. So.
Okay, let's get the scoop on the headphones. Do you need to have headphones?
Okay.
I get like two feelings. Like one, easily irritated by a headphone, and two, like I need to like do an ear thing, you know? Like I need to have earphones on. I don't need to. I'm just being a diva. But
I mean, aesthetically, they're not that cute. Let's be honest. And we're cute girlies and we want to look good and fresh all the time. So I like them. Well, here's the deal. I am editing a lot, right? My clients work their podcasts and stuff. So I need to like hear all of the weird sounds that people make when they are recording so I can edit them out. And I don't think they're necessary. unless you are doing some editing and stuff so you can hear things clearly. But my stuff is all hooked up to a recorder. Like I'm fancy, right? Because I'm a podcaster. So I have like my recording board that's all synced up to my laptop and all the things. So I got a lot of bells and whistles here. So I don't think it's necessary, especially if you're in person, right? Because you don't need the mic when you're in person. So I'll do some testing to make sure my audio sounds good, and then I'll just like put them away, kind of thing. So um, the other thing I wanted to mention with the mics is the cable of the mics. So nowadays you can get USB and XLR, which is like a external line. So there's a couple different ways. So you can plug it right into your laptop, or in my case, I have a recorder board. So nowadays they're multifunctional, which is great too. So just something to think about when you're ordering your mics. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of your personal preference if you want to do the headphones or not.
Well, I do have orange headphones. So
Oh,
I will try. And by the next episode, I will have a mic. And I'm just telling all of you this because one, it's been on my list of things to do. And now I have the mental space to do it. And I have Laura here to tell us why it's important. Okay, so I need to know, like, how did you get into the podcasting world? Has this been a thing for you always? Were you a broadcasting girly? Like,
no, I was incredibly insecure woman, little girl growing up. I grew up in a very big family. I have 3 older brothers, and I was the baby and the only girl. So, for me, I had a hard time finding my voice, right? And being like, who am I? What I'm all about. So I retreated a lot, and I was very like insecure and freaked out a lot of times. And the podcasting world kind of came to me in a complete intuitive download. So it was during the pandemic, and I had this like download, like, oh, you should like do something mentor, mentee type of things, because this is something like you wish you would have had, or what is it that I know now that I could offer a younger generation? So that was like kind of the premise of how the intuitive hit me. And then it's kind of just evolved over the years. So I started podcasting back in 2021 in my show Tag Up with LT. And I produce and host it all myself. So I'm a self-taught podcaster. I basically YouTubed everything like a lunatic. I created my own website. Like your girl was like
so good.
into it.
Yeah.
I remember I was so freaked out to start editing. Like I had no fucking clue what I was doing. And I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to do this? Like, oh my God. I was like catatonic because I didn't want to mess anything up too, because I'd done all these podcast recordings. So fast forward, as it originally it was intended for like a younger generation, it's now evolved into the lifelong learner. So women that are really the podcast is serving the lifelong learner inspiration and education through ambitious women's stories. So most all of the women that come on my show are essentially self-made women. Like they have completely bet on themselves. They are entrepreneurs, they are founders, they are just like doing their thing and reaching, expanding their audience through my audience and collaborating and creating these beautiful episodes together. So it's very eclectic in terms of like all of the different topics that we talk about, things that I find interesting, or things that I'll pull my audience and my little community that I've created of what do they want to learn about? What do they need right now? Like, how can I best serve them and give them what they need right now of where they're currently at in their journey in life? Because as you know, we've talked about this privately, is just life is just journey, right? And what I've come to realize is that through these conversations, it creates this connection and trust and women feeling less alone together in community. And I think like that's like the biggest success to me is just like doing life with everyone that might be tuning in to the podcast show. And it's just really rewarding and really fulfilling, more so than I ever thought it would be. And then on the flip side, selfishly, I'm like literally healing through these conversations that I have with these healers that come on, or spiritual people, or business owners. And so it's this weird transformation that I can see within myself from when I first started to now, of this evolution of me just like on the self-discovery path through each and every one of these conversations, which is very vulnerable and scary, but also beautiful that I think anybody that does this, like you and I, like it's courageous and it's vulnerable because, people in their outside noise and all the things, right? But
Yeah.
really, you're doing this because it's important to you to create this long form content, and it's important to your audience that you're serving, that you're providing them and offering them this entertainment, if you will, right? So I'm completely obsessed with podcasting and helping people podcast, and it's just been so fulfilling in so many ways that I'm just grateful I get to do this type of work and I have the energy and wanting to do it because as you know, it takes a lot of mindful work to do this type of work for people, you know?
Yep. I love that. The self growth is real. Like, I didn't even realize it, but I looked up, and last week my episode with Menaja was episode 60. And
Mhm.
I was like, whoa, where did the time go? Like, we were just a bunch of girls yapping
Yep.
for the last however many weeks we've been yapping. And like, I remember when I used to start the Let's Glow show, feeling like, oh my God, nobody's gonna watch. And then like growing through this phase where I'm like, who cares if nobody watches? Like, I'm doing this for us to have this conversation. And then it becoming like the right people will watch the episodes that call to them. And every episode is like perfectly timed for me, as selfish as that sounds, but like it's perfectly timed that you're here at episode 61, where I'm like, what am I going to do for the next 40 episodes to get myself to this next, like, to this next marker of like 100, And if I'm just going on this like forever rant and talking to people for however long, I feel like, how do I evolve on camera, behind the scenes? And that's just the place that I'm in my life right now. I'm just in this huge transition, and every single episode is just perfectly timed. People pick, like, you pick this date, I don't know how long ago, and people are picking their dates whenever. Like, so I have an amazing friend and new coach of mine, and she picked her date, and it's like end of September, and I'm like, damn, like, I need to wait till then to talk to her. But it's not. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing, and I think I heard somewhere recently by a famous person. I'm not going to name this person's name, but this famous person said, regular people, just if you're listening, just imagine me rolling my eyes really grossly. Regular people don't need to have podcasts, they need to learn trades and skills. And I was like,
Oh, shit. Wow.
okay, that's an interesting thing for a creative person to say that is famous as a regular person becoming a creative famous person. And then I don't know, I feel like lately I've been over consuming and overthinking content. And I'm just curious your thoughts there, because I'm like, I have all of this content in my Rolodex. I have the space now to like dig back into my podcast and pour back into old episodes, reconfigure some things, redo my whole YouTube page, get stuff up on Spotify. And I'm just like, one, where do I start? I'm like looking around, like, where do I start? And like, two, is it worth it? And then three, I'm like, why? If nobody's listening, why? What's the point? So I'm just curious how you move through that bullshit, because it is frankly bullshit. Like, it is. I know it is. Because if one person watches this podcast and books with you, it is a success. If one person watches this and follows you on Instagram, it's success. Period.
Yep.
So I'm trying to I'm finding myself in a big old pile.
Yes.
No,
it's such a good point, Amanda. Like, so I'm new to entrepreneurship, right? I've been doing the podcast for, like I said, about 4 years now. And while being a corporate girly, right? So I always love this from you, the 9 to 5 and then the 5 to 9 vibe.
Yep.
And so that in itself is a lot, right? But I think what I'm hearing you say is that, okay, what is I think it comes down, and this is something that I need to get a hold of, since I've really only been in entrepreneurship, quote unquote, a year, but really fully leaned in the last 6 months or
Yeah.
5 or 6 months, like really full time leaned into it. I think where I get tripped up is I think I need to work on like my strategy, right? And every action I think needs to be associated to the strategy, right? So I think I probably need to hire a professional to really sit down with me and figure out, okay, what are my desires? What are my dreams? What is the strategy to get there? And what actions can I take to get to that, whatever it is that I want to get to? Because like you, and then what's my biggest return on investment, right? Like, where do I want to invest my money and time that I'm going to, at the back end, make an impact, low lift, impact, make an impact, low lift, but also make money, right? We're here to like live and survive and thrive. And how can I support myself and my family? So I think it's like a combination of all of that stuff and trying to figure it out, right? What's the best move that I need to take? Because like you said, I do this too. It's like, okay, I need to do this, 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 and this. And I'm like, okay, but wait, why do I need to do that? What is that going to help me with? Kind of thing. Like I just kind of took a pause on my podcast just so I could focus on my wedding and some projects that I just haven't had time to like focus on. So I needed to take like a month or two off just to like allow the space for creativity. Excuse me, because you're constantly producing this long form content and you're like, okay, what am I getting out of it? Oh my God, I'm having fun and I'm rewarded, but like how can I elevate that further, So it's just, I'm kind of in the same boat, you know what I'm saying, as far as trying to figure that out as I go and working or asking friends, people that have been in the business longer than me, what might be the right move. Because when you're first starting out, it's not like you have $1 million to play with, right? You're very mindful with the revenue coming in, like how do I want to reinvest this back into my business, right? And being really really intentional with that and making sure it's, checking the boxes of what you need to propel things forward, but you do need to spend money to make more money too, right?
Yeah.
So it's tricky, and I'm just trying to figure it out as I go along as well. So I'm like kind of in the same boat as far as what that looks like.
But you said something that a number of people, well, I've been having this conversation with a lot of people, and you said something that nobody has said is the strategy. I
The
think all
strategy.
of the
Yes.
things that I'm doing
Mhm.
make sense. Like I'm making content around styling and clothing, and I wanted to start a couple other Instagram series where I'm like going into thrift stores and like talking to the business owners and things like that.
That's
And I'm like,
fun.
all of this makes sense. It makes sense for me to do that, but like what is the why behind it? Like when I started this podcast, I wasn't thinking in seasons. I was like, oh, let me just like record to the face. Like I like to talk to people. That is like what I love to do. Let's just hit record. That was really the premise of I like to talk. I like to talk to people. I like learning about their businesses and their stories. We should just hit record. And so like I have other friends that have seasons of their podcast and then they have break times and it's built in. And I'm like, oh my God, I just got a party this weekend and next weekend and again, that.
Totally.
So I'm like, the strategy is not there. That's 100% the problem. Because
Yeah,
when I'm making the content, I'm like, oh, this feels really good.
right.
And then when I go to post it, I'm like, where does this fall in the funnel?
Mhm,
why does this why does this feel like it doesn't make sense right now? So
mhm.
I'm having a lot of those feelings. Like I'm like, I don't really know. And I have a bunch of edited videos that I'm like just sitting on. And I'm like, I just don't know that's it. I don't know what the strategy is. And
Right.
I'm like, so if we have to figure out the strategy, I built my current part-time entrepreneur, part-time corporate schedule.
Mhm.
I have to scrap it because I tried it for a week and it's shit.
It didn't work. Oh, fuck.
It didn't work. I mean, I
Oh,
tried
man.
it. So it was like manifest money Monday. So I was gonna do all like sponsorship, like big comms, like communication, newsletter, things like that. I was gonna work on
Mhm.
that on Mondays. It didn't work. Tuesdays was for talking. So I scheduled all my meetings on Tuesdays. I think that's working. I can
Mhm.
keep doing that way. But and the list goes on, but like it's not strategic. It's
Right.
just funneling the shit to a different toilet.
Right? No, that you make such a good point. It's like Oh man, I don't, and you're balancing 2 jobs, right? You're working and you have your business and, I know, I don't know for me, have you been in corporate world or no? No
Yeah,
corporate girl?
I've done corporate. Now I'm like in the startup world and
I don't know about you, but I'm gonna say this lightly, but, like, corporate world is so beautiful. Oh my god, like, consistent paycheck
yeah,
and, benefits and, oh man, the growth, the learning, the opportunities. I mean, it's magical, right? But let me tell you, like, I feel this is gonna be crazy, all right? No one go crazy in the comments here, but, like, corporate world is, it's not easy, but it's like compared to entrepreneurship, oh, it's a totally different fucking ballgame. I
yeah,
mean, totally different. Like you can't even compare the 2, but it's so drastically different because you're building from the ground up. You are figuring this out yourself. Like everything your hands are touching and the passion behind it. It's like, you just clock in and out of, your day-to-day job, right? Entrepreneurship is just a whole nother level of development and personal growth. And you discover things about yourself that aren't that great sometimes. And other times you're like, wow, you know what I'm saying? I'm so much more capable than I
yeah.
thought I could be. So the development is just so much different on your own versus in that day-to-day job, if you will. I don't know, it's just been a trip of
Yeah.
that discovery process for me anyways, and maybe that's not for everyone, but, it's interesting, let me tell you.
Well, and it's making me think now, like, what can we not reinvent the wheel using
Yeah,
corporate as the example? Like, obviously, most corporate companies at one point started as somebody's entrepreneurial idea,
yep,
and they had all of this time to build it into this working machine that is now this corporate business with hundreds of employees or whatever, and we would have strategic meetings. We'd have
yes.
strategic meetings, goal setting, and I don't know. I was talking to my
That's a
dad.
good point, that's a good
Like,
point. It's like,
you don't have
how do you apply that corporate mentality to your business in a way, when you
yes.
don't have a team? I don't know
Right.
about you, but I don't have a team
No.
yet. I'm
Yeah.
not I
I have a
wish
bunch
I
of
had a team. I
volunteers.
have a developer, that's about it that helps me with some back end stuff on my website, but, like exactly, it's like and then how do we use our hard skills and soft skills? How do we translate those to our entrepreneur journey too, right? Like tapping into those. I'm like you, I'm an overthinker, which
Yeah.
me in a lot of trouble.
I know, and I'm like, I'm
It's
getting
so
myself
annoying. It's
right
annoying.
now with myself. I told my husband the other day, I was like, "I'm a really good employee for my day
100%.
job, but
Yep.
I'm being a really bad employee for myself." Like, I will respond to a bamboo email, like, in 0.5 seconds, and
Yeah.
I've been letting my email just pile up because 'cause I'm, like, actively avoiding it for whatever reason, and I don't know if it's, like, this, like, "Oh, I don't wanna step into this space, and if I do this well, because I know I can, then what comes of it?" I'm definitely, like, overthinking the whole thing, which is making it it's just making the execution part hard,
Yeah.
and I've noticed this about myself for a long time, but I somebody told me a long time ago, they were like, Entrepreneurship magnifies your strengths and weaknesses," and I'm
100%.
seeing it. I'm like, "Oh, wow." I'm, like, anxiously avoidant, and,
Yep.
like, I am avoiding all of this work that I have to do and then waiting till the very last second to do it, which was quote unquote okay when I was a full-time employee. Now, 3 weeks into not full-time employee, I'm like, yo, I got all this extra time and I'm just waiting till the last minute anyway. Like,
Yeah.
oh,
Well, some people work better under pressure too. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you can, some people
yeah.
do. Some people aren't proactive and they work just better, last minute type of vibe. So it's like you said, that's a really good analysis as far as like amplifying all the good things and all the challenging things that you have for sure. For
Oh yeah.
sure.
And I think that like the just allowing myself, this is what I used to say, that I was a wing it kind of person. I read this book called like Winging It. It was amazing. I had a coach that was trying to get me to change my mindset about like winging it not being a bad thing, but a superpower. So I went through this
Yeah.
phase of my life where I'm like, yeah, this is the only way that I operate. I operate on winging it. I am successful under stress and pressure. Like that is just who I am as a person. But I found that no, I can be both, where I can plan and wing it at the same time. So you're going to need both skills. And I think I need to transition out of the mindset that I really operate well under pressure, because I can
Yeah.
operate more slowly and intentionally.
Yeah.
And I think I'm just telling me, but I'm also telling you that like we don't have to be so in our heads all the time. Our heads are big, beautiful places, but also like gotta get
I
out of
know.
it.
And it's like sometimes you might not have the answer, but you just got to like sit with it and let it come to you too. You know, we're so like in the force versus the flow of like, oh, I got to make this decision. I got to do this. But like maybe you just got to let the decision come to you too. It's like trusting that intuition. I know that's something I work on is like, how do I know intuitively like it feels good, it feels right, you know, you got to get really quiet or meditate or move your body or whatever it is that you do to get to that point. But that's something I still struggle with and like continuously I'm working on to get that, you know, that conviction of knowing, yes, this is the route in the direction I need to go for this, that, and the other thing. So it's
Yeah.
you got to do the reps, you know, you got to like it's a lot of work being a human,
It
Amanda.
is, because you're getting married in like 10 days
Oh my
also.
god, I
Like
know.
you're like doing all of this. Like, what is it like to be a full-time entrepreneur
Oh my god.
and have to be like a full-time like fiance, wifey, planning a wedding?
Yeah. And, you know, look, I'm an older bride. I'm an older bride tapping in here. I've never been married before. To be honest, I've never had the goal to be married or have children in my life at all. It just was something that I think a lot of that just stems from childhood environment and being a little freaked out about what that looks like.
Mhm.
And I've spent my adult life, you know, especially the last like 9, 10 years of really reframing that like, hey, my life does not need to look like that. I can create my own path. And it okay, there's so many great things about that and so many not so great things about that. But the beauty here is like we get to choose our life. We get to choose how we think and how we get through life and get over some of those obstacles in life and create the life that you want and be with the partner that you want and you know where you can thrive. So like it's taken me a long time to heal and understand that and process all of that to get to this point. So it's a very monumental. I mean, I've
Yeah.
been with my partner for 9 years. So like I already feel married, but
Yeah.
like this really makes it official and special and such a beautiful just combination of everything that we've been through the last 9 years and celebrate that in front of our friends and family. It's just it's amazing and it's going to be magical. But let me tell you, I have never planned a wedding in my life and holy shitballs. Like, you know,
It's great.
you go this is me. I go into these things so naive. I'm like, yeah, I want to have a wedding. I've never been married, of course, you know? And, wow, what I know now versus when I started, I, you know, probably would have done things a little bit differently, I'm not gonna lie, but here we are,
God.
and, you know, we're doing, like, a destination wedding, so, you know, everyone's coming from all across the United States to
Yeah.
gather, and, it's a small wedding, just close family and close friends, literally 96 people on the
Where
docket.
you headed?
Huh?
Where you going?
Well, I don't wanna tell. Do you think people are
Oh,
gonna, like, be weird? I don't know. The internet's kinda weird. I mean,
never
the whole
mind. Is it
Coldplay thing.
somewhere, is it somewhere with like a palm
Yeah,
trees?
it's on the water. It's in Northern Michigan. It's a sleepy little beach town, that
You
yeah, my family, you know, grew up going up there and my, you know, my dad's grandmother was born there. So like, you know, it's really stemmed from, you know, my dad and his family and extended family. So it's like a really beautiful full circle moment. My dad unfortunately passed away in 2019. So
sorry.
we're, you know, especially honoring that whole legacy of, you know, having us all up there and stuff like that. But, I have a great wedding planner. She's fantastic.
Yes.
Samantha Sant from 21 Jane and Events. She's awesome, but, like, it's a lot because we're doing, like, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But, you know, I'm grateful, I'm healthy, it's gonna be wonderful, and I got my eye on the weather like a lunatic. because everything's outside.
Sure. I mean, I
So,
have 10 white tents, 10 by 10s if you
oh
need them.
my God. Okay. All right. For
Yep.
like a rain plan, just in case. Okay,
I have
that's good to
them
know.
in my basement right now.
Oh my God, you have
If you
10.
offline tell me the date, I don't think I'm gonna need them. I'm probably not gonna need them till September anyway. So I
Yeah.
got you, girl. I
Thanks.
got
Thanks, boo.
you.
Yeah, so I'm just excited to marry the love of my life. We're gonna be a fucking mess because I am a sensitive Sally.
Mhm.
I'm very emotional. My partner is emotional as well. So he cries, I cry, he cries. So getting through our vows is gonna
Right.
be a hot mess.
Well, let's help. Yeah, exactly. Just like, waterproof mascara. Just have
Yes,
the like all the stuff in a little baggie on your wrists.
I
Oh,
know.
that's gonna be so beautiful. Okay,
I
I
know.
wanna touch on something because you said it
Yes.
earlier, and I feel like I haven't heard many people talk about it, and you might be talking about this on your show, but I kind of want my people in the audience to hear it. You were saying, "I'm an older bride." You said this, older bride coming in. And like when my sister was getting married, she just got married May 3rd.
Mhm.
I was on the wedding social medias. Like I was getting all of the content. And obviously everybody's like 21, 22, 23. She's in her 30s. So she was like, I feel like I'm just, she was also giving this like I'm an older bride energy. And I'm like, girl, you are not old.
Yeah.
As she's like 31. And so I was like, okay, you're fine. But I'm just kind of curious what your thoughts and experiences have been like. I have a lot of friends who are in their mid 30s, late 30s, never been married, not really in long-term relationships. They're really hung up on this like oh, I'm not going to get this like regular life experience. So I just want to know like your thoughts about that.
Oh man. I I I I hear this from I have some single friends, divorced single friends, and it's tough out there. I really feel for men and women and anybody in the community LGBTQIA plus plus. I don't even know what they're called anymore, if that's correct or not. But it's tough to like find your person, and I was on dating apps before I met my partner, I met some incredible people. I know it's probably a little crazy out there now, especially with COVID and all that happening and stuff like that. And I think for me, and I know this is like so cheesy to say, but like I think, you know, I had just like a lot of like internal challenges that I needed to grow from and heal from that I just hadn't really processed. And, I met my partner late 30s. I think I was 37, I want to say, something like that. So it took me a long time to find my person. And I knew I knew I wanted to find my person, but like it just took, a long time, I feel like. And I feel like that's okay. But I remember feeling really comfortable-ish in my skin in my like my early 30s were kind of mid 30s were like a little bit better, like I was kind of getting my groove, my career was going well and like but I think I even like got back into therapy at that time, right? Like just to work on some stuff. Like I needed to work on myself in a way. So how could I show up and exude the energy that I so wish desired if I was just being negative Nancy and feeling sorry for myself that I hadn't found my partner yet, So I really had to make that shift, and it's very difficult, to put your best foot forward when you're not feeling all aligned internally, right? But I mean, you really do need to like love yourself first before you can really fully love somebody else, and I really do believe that because you're just going to get into a relationship that maybe isn't, aligned to what exactly you need, Like I always said this to my friend. I was like, well, when I meet my partner, like I want somebody to like really take care of me, like really
Mhm.
emotionally deeply take care of me. And, my partner does that for me, like so much so I didn't even know that it could exist, that unconditional love, but he has proven time and time again that, he does do that. Like everything I said I wanted and needed came to me. So like, you and I could talk about manifesting, writing
Yeah.
it down, releasing it into the world. I'm a very spiritual person, but more on like a universal level, right? An energetic level kind of thing. So, you know, it's tough out there. And I know it's tough out there. And I just be patient, as annoying as that sounds, right? Because we live in this world of that we want like instant gratification, right? But I mean, yeah, I know so many like hot single women that
Smart,
who are
sophisticated,
like
classy.
killing it. Yeah, killing it in the entrepreneur world. I mean, I can literally think of 5 ladies right now, like they are hot, they're smart, they're
Yep.
beautiful, and they're, running their own businesses, like
Mhm.
killing it. So, I don't know. I know the girls are on the apps though, so I mean, keep
I
keep it
heard a
up.
theory. This is just like a rumor. This is a theory from someone who is an expat, not from here, lives here, wants to leave immediately, early mid 30s, career focused. She was like, all the guys are married already.
Mm,
They're already married. She's like, we live in the Midwest, and they're getting married at 20 something, and as 30 something from not here. She's like,
yeah.
I'm going into a pool of people who are already taken. And I was like, that's an interesting thought. And she was like, how old were you when you met your husband? And I was like, 25. And she's like, yeah, yep, because you live in the Midwest. And I was like, oh, she's, she's clocking us right now. But
Yeah.
I think, like, to your point, interestingly enough, it's the same kind of a process with podcasting too. It's not an instant gratification thing.
No,
The
no.
long game. It's a
Yes.
longer
It
term.
is
It's
a long game. You're totally right.
both long game, relationship building. We're focused on intentional conversations. We're focused on like the experience of it all, and not just this like quick hit,
Right.
figuratively and literally.
Yeah, because I mean, think about it. When you get into a relationship, whether it's personal or professional, right? Everyone has different beliefs coming into it, right? Everyone's got their own way of thinking. So then it's like you get together and it's like, oh shit, this is your belief system. This is my belief system. What is our belief system together, right?
Mhm.
Relationships take work. I'm sorry, like they do. It's not rainbow and butterflies all the time, right? It's compromise, it's hard conversations, it's assertive communication. I mean, this is something that my partner and I are always working on, right?
Yeah.
When you feel, when you do this, I feel this way, this is what I need, right? Kind of thing. So, I mean, it's just constant, not constant, but you know what I'm saying.
Yes, it's work, but it's not work. Like people say it's work, like work is a bad thing, but
Right.
all of us entrepreneurs are choosing work for funsies. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it's work that is like, I mean, you're tilling the soil where the fruit and the vegetables will be grown. So sometimes it's not rainbows and butterflies, but sometimes it's harvesting the fruit that you've been working towards this whole time, or it's planting the seeds or whatever. And I feel like if I've learned anything, Labrie and I just hit our 5-year wedding anniversary. We'll be 10 years together. And I think what I've learned is that if we approach the work as a quote unquote our relationship, if we're considering the work and our relationship like the same thing, as something that's exciting and something that we want to do. And I feel
Mhm.
like, oh,
Yep.
look, we want to be better for each other. We want to be in a open, communicative, growth focused relationship. Even if everything else is misaligned, if we're aligned on that, then the work will be fun.
Yeah,
You know.
exactly. It's like you're choosing each other, right? And so how do we work together to get through this, that, and the other thing for sure? The other thing, oh God, man, I just spaced out, but like, I don't know about you, but like, do you ever have people like I have some friends go, I don't get it. Like, what do you mean doing the work? And I was like, okay, okay, doing the work. All right. They don't know what it means. But for me, I don't know about you, but like when you do the work, you get you're able to process things a little bit quicker than you usually do. And then
Mhm.
you can make a quicker shift than you usually do. So maybe if you got in an argument, you would be pissed off for like 3 days. Now
Sure.
it's maybe like an hour or 2. You know what I'm saying? So like I think that to me is like doing the work, is noticing it quickly, acknowledging it, and then getting the shift quickly, to get back on the path, right?
And approaching it. Like if they're like, oh, what is doing the work? I mean, if we relate this to entrepreneurship and relationships, it's like
I know, is this like a relationship?
Relationship with our entrepreneurship kind of.
Well, yeah, you can apply it to both, right?
Yeah, like
100%.
I'm actively avoiding my email right now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I see that I'm doing it. I've been doing it for the last like 24 hours because there's a lot of emails in there. There's a lot of work for me to do. And
which is great. We love work.
Great. We love it. This is what I signed up for, right?
I know, right?
I'm actively avoiding it. So now, to your example, like the stress, the anxiety, the anxious feeling that I have is going to be prolonged until I face it and just get to work. And I have a really good relationship example of this. So the other day, I had a really stressy day where we are actively transitioning my dad's mom, my grandmother, she's 91 years old, into my parents' house. For the last like 2 years, I've been like, Mom and Dad, she needs to move in with you guys. Like, she needs to move in. They finally turned around. They turned a corner because this was the decision all along. They finally turned a corner. They got the room ready. They were like, okay, when her cat passes away, because my mom's allergic to cats, this is when we'll make the move. And she passed away like right after my sister got married. So for that whole month, I was kind of like, what are we working on? We could do some sleepovers, whatever. So she finally decided last Thursday after her doctor's appointment that she wasn't going to go back home. And they went to the post office. They changed her address. Like, we knew that she was going to make the decision whenever she was ready. We couldn't force her to move out of her home that she's owned since the 70s, but it's been a stressful situation trying to like, I feel at times I'm like parenting my parents. For some reason, I'm finding myself, oldest daughter here, at this like position where I'm managing my grandmother, I'm managing my parents, I'm managing my siblings. I'm like the point person, right?
Yeah.
And there was a day, it was last week. Bubby comes over on Tuesdays. It's my grandma time. I cook dinner. She hangs out. I take her home. That was like my solution until she's living with them, right? Making space for her. Busy day, crazy day. She was having some like memory issues. She was anxious. And then I was like, I'm taking her to my mom and dad's. I would like for you to come with me. So he was like, I'm okay. Mind you, I had made up this whole idea in my mind that he was going to come with me to my parents' house with my grandma that I didn't tell him about. And I was mad at him for not doing the thing that I didn't ask him to do out loud.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. 100%.
So like we had this little in the kitchen with his mom there, my grandma there, my friend was over. And then I like ran out to the car. Everybody left. I ran back in and he was like, I love Liberty. He's so sweet. He's not a confrontational person at all. He like touches me gently on the shoulder. He's like, Aw. I don't like when you bark orders at me. And I was like, well, first of all, that was Christy. She said that. And that wasn't me who said that. And I like exploded, right? And then he was like, I'll give you some space. We could talk about it when you get home. And I'm like, why do you have to be so nice? But I cooled off, came back home. We talked it through.
Yep.
I think in any other scenario, I would have let that go for as long as it needed to go and held the grudge as long as humanly possible.
Sure.
But the work was the second we approached each other after the case, like the second I saw him, we talked it through. And it was just I was like, okay, and now we're over it. It's squashed. We fixed it. And I think that like what I will do today is approach my emails and apologize to myself for avoiding it for 3 days or 2 days.
Exactly.
Long,
I feel like the key there, what you said was, I'm like obsessed with this woman, Dr. Becky. She is a child psychologist on Instagram. The most important thing when that happens is where parents and people get it wrong is the repair. And what you did was the repair right after it happened. People lash out, they yell, but then the people don't repair what had happened. And that's what the key there is to do, what you did. So I was just thinking about that.
I love that. And I think I get to do the repair from my business side too.
Yeah.
Like I'm reprimanding myself in my mind for something I haven't done for the last day or two or whatever.
Yeah, you know what to do.
And I'm acting like I have to wait until there's a consequence, you know,
Yeah.
I get to prepare today. I really like
Yeah.
that. You said,
I mean, you're your own boss, right? So no one else is gonna do it. So you'll get around to it when you're gonna get around to it. I get it. Like, same thing, like, my developers in my inbox with a whole bunch of shit,
yeah,
and I'm like, "I can't focus on this last night." I was like, "I have no mental energy to work on this and check her work and figure out what's gone awry." You know, like, I just can't do it. So I said, "I'm gonna go watch some trash TV."
yeah,
For 2 hours, because I was watching the dog all day because my dog had surgery, and I was like, "And I am just going to get a good night's sleep, and I'll start fresh in the morning," you
yeah.
know?
And then you will. You will
Yeah,
when you're ready, and the work will be better than it would be if you're like doing it with a paper clip and a rubber band, you know, like
yeah,
just barely hang
exactly.
on, you know. Okay.
I know sometimes I feel like we just beat ourselves up and, don't give ourselves grace for things. I do the same thing. I mean, it's something that I'm always working on too. Like, why am I beating myself up over this? Like, no one cares but you, you
Right.
know?
Right. I think
No one is keeping score but you, honey. That's it.
girl, the score is like it just feels like this weird, yeah, I've got like this weird like cloud and I'm just like, okay, gotta like shoo her away. It's just been this
Yeah,
week. And I know and I like to think of my emotions as a trampoline. And like I'm in
yeah,
I'm in phases. So like I do realize I might be like at the bottom of a trampoline, but it's gonna hop right back up.
yeah,
But when I'm at the bottom, I'm like, why are you at the bottom? Like this is part of the flow. Like this
yeah,
is what happens. We go through a range of emotions, which we're so lucky to do.
exactly.
You
Yeah.
know? Okay, we're at 45 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
I have two, well, really three more questions. So one question I want to know, and then we'll get into all of your services because I want folks to know. But let's say I'm dreaming of building a podcast or I have one already and it's just not picking up the traction. Like, what do you think are the elements of like an ideal podcast? What do we need?
Oh. I think for an ideal podcast, me, I'm like, okay, we need good audio and equipment
Yeah.
to start. But I mean, a lot of people or potential clients come to me and they have like no idea where to start. It is very overwhelming, especially for someone who is not technically inclined, who, maybe doesn't have a marketing hat kind of thing. So you might have like an idea, but like you're like, how do I get this into a long form content kind of thing? So what I do is I actually have a course. I actually have a ton of freebies on my website, ltlifestylemanagement.com/freebies. I have 10 key decisions to start a podcast, equipment checklist of like different ideas there, kind of what we talked about earlier. Um, so just to kind of like dip your toe to see whether or not this is something you want to move forward with, freebies, go and check them out. But I mean, I think for me, it's just kind of like you said earlier, consistency, showing up, not giving a shit who's tuning in and who's tuning out, like just doing it. I think that's like the most courageous thing is like you said, I turned on a mic and I started hit record to talk to my entrepreneur friends. That is like literally the first step to just do it. It's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be messy. I listen to my old episodes. I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. But then I look at the episodes I produce now and I'm like, yes, look at that beautiful evolution of like 4 years ago to now, like you can like see the difference and hear the difference and you just become a better interviewer. And I mean, it's just building that skill set and confidence up really. But I think consistency is one thing. And marketing, right? I mean, it really depends on your goals. Like, what are your goals for starting a podcast? Like, I want you to be very intentional because, like you, we don't really do anything half-ass, right? We're like, if we're doing it, we're going to do it well and we're going to do it to our best of our ability, right? We are like goal-oriented girlies. Like, this is what we do, right? So, a prime example, I had a couple students in the podcast container course in the beginning of the year, and I taught it live. 5 modules, several lessons within each module, and I'm literally teaching you how to start a podcast from scratch. Everything from from the intention setting of it all the way to publishing a podcast episode and everything, marketing, everything in between. And what I got from that is that they don't care about how many downloads they get. They just wanted to create a really cool podcast about hockey style. And they are obsessed with hockey. They have all this memorabilia. They traveled the United States and Canada to go to all the hockey games, Red Wings specifically. And they have created this niche community, the NHL ladies, like they are obsessed with hockey, these cute girls. And they just wanted this platform to build a community, right, of like-minded women who are interested in hockey just like they are. So, really, their goal isn't to make money. Their goal is to just have fun, have cool guests, and they have some of the most incredible guests. But they consistently show up because you never know who's listening, who's watching, right? And they've really put their heart and soul into it, and it's just like so rewarding to see them thriving. I'm like, they're like my little babies, and I'm like, oh my god, you guys are so cute, and so I mean, I think it's just the willingness and courage to just do it, but be intentional about why you're doing it. If you're a product-based service or just a service in general, podcasting is a very powerful marketing tool, right? To promote your business in any way, shape, or form, and what you're all about and what you're doing. So is it right for everyone? Maybe not. I don't know. I feel like it's important to have everyone elevate their voice for the greater good through podcasting or a YouTube show, things of this nature, because again, it creates connection, it creates, community, it creates people feeling less alone. And, this is why people follow certain people, or listen to certain podcasts because they are getting something from it, right? And they're being entertained and learning, right? So it's, I don't know if there's like a recipe for it other than diving in and trying it. And if you don't like it, you don't like it. At least you tried, and went through the process. So it's been fun to see my students launch their podcasts into the world. Like it's so fun to see them just killing it.
I love that. I'm gonna have to check them out. And then when I was looking through your website, I'm like, don't be surprised if after this you have a new subscriber.
Love it. Yes.
I'm gonna be downloading all of the things like I'm gonna go to Guitar Center today. That is like on the list now. It is strategic. It is yes. Like I will be there, and by next week I will have the whole get up. And I think that was another thing that I was just like I knew that I needed. I was actively avoiding it. I was doing all of the other things, which is exactly what it's just, I'm seeing it in multiple places of my business and in my life where I'm like, I'm very focused on making like this corner of the room looking really nice, but then this corner of the room is very neglected, and I think I get to heal that part of me through this phase of my life, and I get to participate in this corner of the room that's been neglected, both like spiritually, physically, literally, entrepreneurially, and just say like, hey, I haven't been able to give this side of me a chance like I've been giving this side of me a chance. That's all I had the bandwidth to do, which is beautiful. And so I think like to this like spiritual like metaphor of like relationships with entrepreneurship, I think that's going to be like the name of the episode, is like is that like all of it takes the work, and like the work is fun, and if the work is not fun, then we get to stop, or we get to pivot.
Yeah, it's so much fun. My favorite part of the podcast is just the research and understanding my guests and preparation and practicing. And, I just love that aspect. Like, cause like you want to like get to know this person. Like what makes them interesting? Like everyone has a story, right? There's so many cool, unique people out there. And it's like getting all those nuggets that, to me, the goal is to have somebody listen to the show and just get one download that's going to help them in their lives in a positive way. Like that's it. That's the goal,
Beautiful goal. I love
you get more, great. And listen, if you want to start a podcast, But like, you don't have the time. You're like, girl, I can't be taking another course. It ain't happening.
Yeah.
You know, I do offer, you know, full-time services as well, as far as marketing, being your podcast marketing manager. So if you're a brand or business, or even a hobbyist that just wants to, doesn't want to like mess with all the technical setup and all the things that go with it, you know, we can work together and do that together and co-create a cool show for you as well. So another one of my like cool services, if you don't have the time or the flexibility to learn all of the cool things, you know, I do offer that as well.
Where can we find all of those things? That was my second question.
Okay, well, you can find me on Instagram. I pretty much hang out on Instagram. My show is at Tag Up with LT, and then at LT Lifestyle Management, and then my website's ltlifestylemanagement.com. And that's where all of my goodies are held, my friend.
And this is 2A. This is not question number 3. This is question 2A. What in your business are you most excited about right now? Like, what are you working on right now?
Okay, so what I'm most excited for, 2 things. Ready? One, since my digital course, I'm actually making my course digitally. So I have partnered up with the learning management system LearnDash, and I'm going to sell my course as a product on my website soon. This is what I'm talking about, working with my developer to link everything up.
Yeah.
And what a labor of love, sis. Like 28 videos, right? We have 5 modules, several lessons within each module. I got some great feedback from my students that took it, and I like, you know, tweaked it, pruned it, and made it beautiful. But like doing those videos, girl, whoa.
Yeah.
So it's like literally at your own pace and all the things. So I'm so excited to be launching that very, very, very soon. Like literally on my wedding day in a couple weeks. No,
You're launching it on your wedding day?
no, I'm messing with you. But we're like so close, right? With the email journeys, right? We're like nailing it down and just testing everything. So we're very, very close to launching that. And then the other thing that I'm doing in the fall is I'm going to do in-person workshops. So partnering with some local businesses, one of which may be Bamboo in Royal Oak, and then another one in a Troy location. Because what I didn't realize when I was teaching in the beginning of this new year to my students is how much I enjoyed it. Like the energy it evoked in me, I was like, wow, I really, really enjoyed teaching others how to podcast. Because the reason why I created the digital course is because I wish I would have had this 4 years ago. Like, I'm sorry, the noise of piecing together YouTubes and like different websites was a lot of exhausting. So like literally this is why I created this digital course, is to serve the like 4 years ago myself of everything you know. So like literally this is a labor of love. It's from passion, and I think it's fabulous, but you know, whatever.
I'm sure it is. Knowing you, I'm sure it's absolutely fabulous and really, really helpful.
Yeah, exactly. Like the girls, you know, my students were like, there's no way we could have figured this out ourselves. There's absolutely no way. So I'm like, that I know that the product that I created is going to serve the right person that needs it. I mean, I'm talking like I'm teaching editing in there. Like it's nuts. You know, the scary stuff that people are like, oh, that's not cute. It's not cute, but you need to understand it, you know, and then figure out if you want to do it or not. Right.
Right.
So those are like the 2 projects that have gotten me really, really fired up. And that's why I kind of had to pause the podcast so I could focus on that stuff intentionally and get that stuff all squared up. So I'm pumped for those 2 things.
That is so exciting. I love that so much. I'm going to be on the lookout for all of those things, and I'm going to be poking around your website right after this, because I see that like the supply, I don't know what you called it, but it was like the tools guide, or like what I need to give.
Yeah, the freebies. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the freebie guide is about equipment and different like links to all of the equipment that you might need to start a show. And then the other one was like 10 key decisions to start a podcast show. So those were like the couple freebies out there, little checklist to kind of help you out. So
reevaluate. I'm going to reevaluate. One of my goals for this time period for myself was to reevaluate the Let's Glow show and see like, am I on the right track? So like this has been immensely helpful. I'm going to be like setting intentions for the show, because the intentions have changed. Like Episode 61, when I started it, I was like, I just want to get the speaking reps in and I just want to talk shop with people. But I think that's like still a goal, but I need something a little bit more robust and more strategic, frankly.
Yeah, same. I'm in the same boat, sis.
I appreciate you so much. Okay, one last question. What
Yes.
do you want to leave our audience with today? If you were to like cherry pick a nugget, what would that be?
What do I want to leave the audience with?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, fucking believe in yourself, man. You got to believe in yourself, because guess what? No one is coming to save you. You got to figure it out, you know? And if things are misaligned, or you are just, you know, things are no longer serving you, it's your choice to let them go and figure out a best way forward for yourself, you know? And believe that you're worthy. You are worthy of that change, and believing in yourself and making the life that you so desire, because you only get one, right? So like, make it count. Make sure it's fully aligned. And it took me a very long time to get there, you know, of shedding those old belief systems and creating new ones and stuff like that. So it's powerful. The mind is just so powerful, right? In our thoughts. So it's like, you got to keep them in check. So believe in yourself.
I love it. And I love you. I'm so grateful that we got to spend this beautiful hour together. Even
No,
right before your wedding, like I'm wishing you all of the amazing, every single magical piece that you've been planning for this, however long. I hope it all happens exactly the way you wished it and better. Yes, just a happy, long, beautiful marriage together, to your partner, to yourself, to your business, all of those things. I'm just so glad that we met. I don't even remember where we met, but I'm just so glad we bumped into each other and it's like a thing now. Like
I
I'm just
know. And congrats on your show and all the cool things you're doing over at Revamp. You know, I'm obsessed with your brand and have contributed and attended your revamps, which are awesome. So I'm proud of you too for doing the damn thing, girl.
doing the damn thing. And
Doing
just like we do on every show, I got a not even a shameless plug, but the revamp is coming up September 13th at the Detroit Shipping Co. We are actively looking for brand ambassadors right now. So if you are passionate about sustainability, about creativity, about community service and activism, then you might be a really great brand ambassador. Our content day is coming up August 2nd and the application is below. We would love to have you come play. Thank you all so much for joining us on the Let's Glow show. It's Amanda Sweet and Laura, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye, guys.